Welcome back to the Nightmare Playground. Sit down, relax. This story gets a bit crazy. I always thought I was the type who paid attention to details. As a freelance editor working from home, I spent most of my day alone in a quiet townhouse just outside of Portland. No kids, no pets, just me, my coffee machine, and the gentle tapping of my keyboard. That's why I noticed the small things at first. It started with food, a banana missing here, a yogurt gone there. I chalked it up to my own absent-mindedness. Maybe I ate and forgot. Maybe I left something in the car and tossed it later without remembering it. Nothing felt wrong, just weird. Then I misplaced my favourite coffee mug, the one with the chipped rim and the stupid pun that read espresso yourself. I looked everywhere, dishwasher, sink, cabinets, I even checked the trash. Nothing. That annoyed me more than the missing food. Still, I rationalised. Maybe it cracked and I threw it out without thinking. Then, one morning, I found the bathroom light on. That stopped me cold. I always shut off the lights. I'm meticulous like that. My energy bill proves it. But still, people forget things. People are forgetful. And so was I, apparently. Or so I told myself. It was around that time I started waking up at 3 AM. Night after night. Not startled, just awake. No noise, no nightmares, just a strange, sudden alertness. I started keeping a glass of water by the bed, figuring maybe it was just stress. Too much screen time? Too much coffee? Who knows? It all came to a head about 2 weeks ago. I had a client Zoom meeting and needed a particular folder of hard copies, old manuscripts stored in the hallway closet. I keep them in a box on the top shelf, right under the attic hatch. When I opened the closet door, I saw a thin line of dust scattered across the floor, except for one spot where it had been disturbed. A faint trail, like someone had dragged something down. I looked up. The attic hatch was just slightly ajar, not open, just not closed. Now listen, I don't scare easily. I grew up in Chicago. I've been mugged twice, and I drove through a Montana blizzard with no snow chains. But that gap, half an inch of open space above my head, filled me with a quiet dread I can't explain. I grabbed a broom, not a gun, not a knife, just a broom. I tapped the hatch and it creaked upward. Nothing came down. No animal noises, no rustling. I stood there for a full minute, heart hammering, broom in one hand, cell phone in the other. Then I pulled the ladder down. The air smelled stale, dust and insulation and something else, something sharp. I climbed slowly. My attic is unfinished, just beams and plywood, one single bulb dangling from a cord. I pulled it. Light filled the space. And there, in the far back corner, behind some of my old toys from when I was a child, was a nest. That's the only way I can describe it. A sleeping bag, fast food wrappers, empty water bottles, a duffel bag, a small camping stove, and worst of all, my espresso yourself mug, sitting like a trophy on a milk crate. I didn't scream. I didn't move. I just stared at the space and felt something cold run through me. Then I heard it. A whisper of a sound from the far wall. A cough. Not mine. I bolted, down the ladder, down the stairs, out the front door, barefoot. I called 911 from the neighbour's lawn, shaking. The police found no one up there by the time they arrived, but they did find a hidden panel at the back of the attic, an old crawl space that ran above the neighbouring townhomes. Turns out, my place wasn't the only one he'd been using. The guy had been moving between attics, living above us like some ghost in the drywall. 27 years old, homeless with a record of break-ins and trespassing. No violent crimes, thank God. He'd been sneaking in through the roof access during construction months ago, making himself at home in whichever attic seemed warmest. Since this incident, I've installed cameras, replaced the attic latch. Still, I sleep with a flashlight beside my bed. That's been my routine every night since the police cleared the place. I check the locks, double-check the attic hatch, review the motion alerts from the hallway cam. Everything's normal, quiet, predictable. But that quiet doesn't quite feel the same anymore. The officers told me he'd probably been there for weeks, maybe months, slipping down when I was out or asleep, living just feet above me, memorizing my habits, waiting, watching. They described him as calm, detached, non-violent, technically, just a trespasser. But they didn't have to sleep under that ceiling. I did. It's not the trespassing that gets to me, it's the intimacy of it, the proximity. It's the moments I can't stop replaying in my mind, like that one time I came back from the store and found the bathroom fan on, or the night I left my phone charging downstairs and heard a soft creak above my bed but didn't get up to check. The kind of things that seem harmless until they aren't. They found pages in the attic, ripped from my notebooks. He'd copied some of my notes, circled my name where I'd signed it on an envelope. One officer said it looked like obsession, but I think it was something quieter. He was studying me, learning. Maybe he wanted to become me, maybe he already had for a while. That's the part that lingers, the not knowing. How many times did I almost see him? Did I ever speak out loud to myself and get a response I brushed off as my imagination? Was that bump in the night really just the pipes, or was someone freezing still, listening from above? People keep asking me why I didn't hear him sooner, but attics were built to muffle sound. Insulation, joists, beams. A person could crawl inches over your head and you'd sleep right through it. I know that now. I still work from home, I still drink my coffee and do my editing, but I move through the house differently. I don't sing to myself anymore. I don't walk barefoot in the morning. I keep blinds shut even when it's sunny. And every so often, maybe once a week, I'll hear the lightest click from the attic hatch where the heat kicks on or the wood contracts. Just a shift in pressure. That's what I tell myself. It always is.